Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to give you an update video on Meta Angels and why I think they are a bear market 50x opportunity. So I did cover this project in a Twitter thread a while back on my Twitter, and this was a week and a half or so ago. So obviously, make sure to follow me on Twitter to get the alpha the earliest. But essentially, in this video, I'm going to cover why I think Meta Angels is such a good buy right now and why I think it could easily 10, 20, even 50x from here, even though we're in a bear market. And I do think that obviously that's assuming a long-term kind of forecast, right? I'm not saying they're going to 10x now, but I do think over the next couple of years, this is a huge opportunity. So Meta Angels is one of my strongest conviction holds, and I'm consistently adding more and more of this project into my position each month. So I actually bought a few yesterday. Right now you can see the floor price is up at 0.194. It was down to 0.098 a few days ago. So it's very underpriced right now. We actually were having kind of a pump today with 100 sales basically in the last like 24 hours, but I bought in yesterday around the 0.13 range. So right now, I think I have like 22 or 23 of these in total, just an incredible project. Now, let's talk about why I'm buying at least 1 to 2 Meta Angels per month, right? So what's my reason for bullishness? So first, let's talk about Angel Labs. So Angel Labs is a 10-week curriculum-based Web3 accelerator that takes experienced operators and then helps them with their NFT projects, right? So they're essentially a Web3 accelerator. And the way they work is they basically help these projects out with mentoring, with connections, with networking, and really just giving them a very easy model to follow to get their NFT project launched, including one-on-one mentorship from leaders in the space. So they have some incredible mentors, right? So some of their mentors includes Zeneca from Zen Academy, Maya Kushi from Curious Addies, there's Randy Zuckerberg, there's Carly Reilly, who's the host of Overpriced JPEGs, which is one of my favorite, basically, NFT podcasts. Keith Grossman, who is the president of Time Magazine, and there's just so much more, right? There's also Jalak Chobhanpatra from Future Perfect Ventures, which is one of the top VCs in the space. There's Avery who's the president of Vayner NFT. There's just an incredible number of people here, including lawyers, accountants, etc., that are all experts in the space and can help founders out with the nitty-gritty of launching an NFT project to kickstart their business. Now, what's really cool about this project is what it means for Meta Angels. So there are two main benefits to Meta Angels holders, right? The first benefit is that Meta Angels holders are guaranteed an interview because most, obviously they have a ton of applications. They had something like 300 applications and they chose 16 projects. And obviously being able to get a video interview is kind of a big plus. So that's a small benefit. I don't think it's like a massive benefit, but it does help if you're a founder, which does create demand for the Meta Angels NFTs. Now, the real big benefit here is that Meta Angels holders will actually get priority access to these mints. So it's not clear exactly what the mechanism is, but I assume that a big portion of whitelist spots from these projects are going to be for the Meta Angels holders. And ideally, what I'd love to see is if you hold 1 Meta Angels, you get 1 raffle or 1 entry into whatever whitelist. So if they are, let's say, saving aside 300 for the Meta Angels community, it would be cool that if you have 20 Meta Angels, you get a 20 times higher chance of actually winning a whitelist. I think that would really push floor price up on the Meta Angels. But regardless, this is really a cool initiative because you're getting access to these projects. You're getting a much higher chances of minting them. And if you actually look at the first 16 projects, there's some really interesting projects, right? There are a bunch of community-based projects, but also there's some really interesting products like Signet, which is basically a way for e-commerce products to add NFTs and DAO tokens to actual physical products. So that's a space that's going to be massive, is the integration of e-commerce into NFTs. And then there's this over here, Democrat DAO. So this is basically raising political funding with Web3. There's regenerative finance products. There's a social game, which turns your NFT rugs and worthless projects into treasure. There's a real estate education community. And then there's ultra premium wine and spirit packed NFTs, right? So there's just so many cool projects that are coming out of this. And you can see that these are not just your standard profile pic. These are actually real projects and real businesses. I especially like this community-powered CBD enhanced functional foods and snacks, right? Like that's such a cool idea. So, okay, priority access to these projects obviously are pretty big, but here's another reason why Angel Labs and Meta Labs are kind of such a good mix and why this will benefit Meta Angels holders so much more. So one of the biggest problems with NFT projects right now is they don't have real revenue sources other than secondary sales. So without secondary sales, often projects can basically die out because there's no more funding coming in. With Meta Angels, they've basically on Discord, I believe they said they have 2 years, 1 or 2 years of basically funding from their mint, right? They have money saved up to keep building for like a couple years without really requiring any additional capital. So they're already in a good position where they've obviously managed their money well and they're building for the long term. So they don't really have to, basically be so dependent on secondary sales revenue. However, with Angel Labs, you have a new revenue stream for Meta Angels to really scale Meta Angels up, because Angel Labs takes 7 to 11% of the mint of these projects, depending on kind of the package slash option they took. So if you have, let's say, even half of these projects do decently well and mint out, and let's say they raise an average of $2 million. So $2 million times 8 projects, that's $16 million. And 7 to 10% of that is easily $1.52 million in revenue for Angel Labs. And this is just one cohort of 10 weeks, right? So I assume they can probably do 3 or 4 cohorts a year quite easily. Even if they're doing 3 cohorts a year, you're talking about basically a business model that generates multi-millions in revenue without requiring any basically reliance on secondary sales, which then become basically a really big bonus, right? You can see there's already been 2.9 Ethereum traded on secondary for Meta Angels. So essentially, they've had 250 Ethereum in commission, or even higher because it's 7.5%. So somewhere around that, that's $500,000 that this team has generated in secondary sales revenue. So this team is well funded, but this Angel Labs new initiative is actually a much bigger revenue stream than secondary sales. So what does that mean for Meta Angels? Well, number one, what it means is the project will have a lot of funding for them to keep hiring, keep building, keep doing cool initiatives, and really keep expanding the community and adding utility. Now, the reason why Angel Labs and Meta Angels work so well together is because, yes, the revenue from Angel Labs can go into making Meta Angels a better project, but then Meta Angels is also the profile pick and community project that brings in great projects to Angel Labs. Nobody wants to work with an accelerator that's not really proven what they've done, and Meta Angels is Angel Labs proof that they know what they're doing, right? So if Meta Angels is able to establish itself as a true blue chip, right, and it's able to, eventually get to that high floor and that big community, and they're able to scale out their community as well in interesting ways, what that means is that Angel Labs is going to get way better projects in through the door. They'll get thousands of applications versus hundreds, and these projects will be bigger. They'll raise larger amounts of funding. Angel Labs is going to raise more funding, and then it's this basically virtuous cycle where they're building this ecosystem where they have this accelerator and this community-based project, and basically it's turning into this beautiful flywheel. And I think this is one of those projects where I just see this going places. So honestly, that's why I'm so bullish on these guys. Now, with all these different factors coming in, I do think Meta Angels is a project that I'm pretty comfortable saying it's going to be worth 5 to 10 Ethereum in the next bull run, right? Whether that be a year, 2 years, 3 years away, I don't know. I think these guys are here for the long term. So I'm going to keep buying as many as I can. I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging my way into 1 or 2 Meta Angels a month. I have 20 plus right now. My goal is to be at 50 before the next bull run hits, and I think that would be, that's kind of my strategy, right? Obviously, there are other projects I'm buying. I'm super bullish on Doodles. I'm bullish on projects like Shadowy Supercoder and a lot of gaming projects. So guys, I would highly recommend you go check out Meta Angels. Go to check out their website. I made a previous video about them that you should also check out. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, subscribe to the channel, and also let me know what project I should cover next. As always, it's been a pleasure. So I'll see you on the next one.